morning, family. Johnson Fam here, Dallas Fort Worth Realtor, and I wanted to turn on the camera and start rolling about something. It's what, 7:45 on a Saturday morning. I am headed out to do some showings in the Melissa McKinney area. Don't mind the fact that I don't have on any makeup because I am attempting to clear up my shitty skin, so I'm going au natural. So I'm sorry if you guys are frightened by the way that I look this morning. But anyway, last night when I was setting up my appointments, I decided to run my numbers because I'm coming up on, I guess, kind of an exciting time or monumental time, which is in 2 weeks will mark 3 years of me passing my real estate exam and getting into the real estate business kind of full time. And so 3 years is upon us. Decided to run some numbers, and at first I was a little bit mortified because our go-to to run numbers is typically just going to the MLS and seeing what you've sold this year that is reported in the MLS. And quite frankly, that number was quite a bit lower than what I'm used to seeing. Then I flipped over and I pulled up my QuickBooks and pulled up my P&Ls this year that my accountant put together and checked the accounts. And guys, my findings were astounding. So typically I sell around $6.5 million in volume per year. This year so far, I've sold $3.3 million in sales volume. I've only done, I think it was like 13 or 14 transactions. And so some of that's on the MLS, some isn't, some was new construction. But more importantly, I have almost lapped the amount of money and my profits from last year that I brought in. Like, I've literally almost made twice as much money as I did last year, and I've only sold so far half as much as I sold last year, right? So it was really freaky for me to look at that, and I think that in real estate we get so focused on numbers, but we get focused on the wrong numbers. I see so many agents that are just so centric on revenue and not profits, and their sales volume instead of how much money they're actually putting in their pocket and how many transactions they have versus how much money they're actually putting in their pocket. And I realized in that moment that, yo, this year I've been working smart. It's great to work hard, and I mean, there is an element of working hard to what I do, but I have just tried to be really strategic in where I'm putting my time so that I can maximize my profits, and I care more about my profits than like the ego of transactions and sales volume. If it's not bringing me money, I don't care. Like, for instance, one thing that I kind of have gotten a little bit more hyper focused on is new construction, because new construction typically pays out at a higher percentage than a pre-owned home, because the builders have that in their budget and they want to give realtors incentive to bring clients over to them. And so, I mean, it's nothing for you to make 5 or 6% on a new construction house. You can sell half as many of those as you do a regular house and make the same or more money. So I think it's very important when looking at your numbers to make sure that you're paying attention to the right numbers, which is what's actually going in your account, like what you're actually profiting and bringing home. I find that in real estate, you know, we kind of puff out our chest and like, I did 20 million in volume, my team did 150 million in volume. But when you look at some of the P&Ls for these businesses and these teams and these individual agents that are, you know, cranking out $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in expenses or more. Should I've seen some of them that are cranking out just in ad spend and Zillow leads and Realtor.com leads, you know, $80,000, $100,000 a month. And yeah, I mean, they got the revenue, they're getting the sales, But when you take into account how much money they're pumping into the business to get that, they're functioning at like a 25, maybe 30% profit margin. Whereas I'm functioning at like an 85, 90% profit margin. So my revenue, you know, it may not be as high, but my profits sure as shit make sense. So make sure that when you're analyzing these numbers, that you're looking at the right ones, which is what's going in the bank account, and not necessarily what I call ego numbers to kind of tout your stats to other people. Also, the way that I figured out that I've been able to do that is by maximizing my streams of revenue. I am not anywhere close to how many I would like to have eventually in the next couple of years. I want to have 12 to 15 streams of revenue, if at all possible. Right now we have a good steady 5, and some of those other streams are totally outpacing and lapping what I can get by just selling houses. And that was really, really important to me to come up with a plan, because I don't want to be 50 years old driving y'all around helping you find houses. I will do it, and I will do it for friends and family, but I don't want that to be my primary source of income, because it gets rough on you. It's tough doing all of the driving and the in and out of the cars and the setting the appointments and the showings and the listings. Like, it really can be a lot. And so I really wanted to have a plan, because you got two choices in this business. You can either be the business, or you can build the business. And I knew from the very beginning that I didn't necessarily just want to be the business, meaning if I'm not working and I'm not producing, I don't have any money coming in. I didn't want it to be that way. And so make sure when you're building out your business that you take those types of things into account, and start looking at some other avenues in whatever you're doing, even if it's not real estate, because I know some people watch my videos that aren't into real estate. But whatever you're doing, just make sure that you're tapping into multiple streams that you can bring in money more than one way. So I always kind of tout that and talk about how it's more than one way to skin a cat. And I don't know, I just thought it was pretty cool and wanted to talk a little bit to you guys about numbers and making sure you're looking at the right one. So go on and like and subscribe to this channel. You want to see some more stuff, leave it down in the comments. Let me know some of the videos, some of the content you guys are wanting to see. I'm going to be cranking out a shit ton of videos over the next 90 days or so, and really get cranked up, build out some new playlists for you guys. So let's get this shit popping. And until next time, peace.